Hello everyone and welcome to another video. The Nintendo Switch OLED model is the new flagship in the Switch lineup, and while I do enjoy my time with it, we shouldn't disregard the other options out there. This is why today I'll take a closer look at the Switch Lite and give you a few reasons why it's a good choice in 2022. So the Switch Lite was released in 2019 and was met with some criticisms, in particular regarding the system's inability to be docked, but the Switch Lite quickly found its own niche in the handheld market and made a lot of fans in the process. The first thing you will notice is the system's small form factor. Compared to its siblings, it is both smaller and lighter. If you travel with your system, this is really good news, because even though all of the Switch models are handheld, the Switch Lite is the only one I would consider genuinely portable. And due to its lack of removable Joy-Cons, it is made out of a single mold and feels quite sturdy for a little plastic device. And paired with a screen protector and a proper case, it becomes very durable. The Switch Lite is rather easy to play handheld, whereas the other models do suffer over time due to the increased weight and size. According to me, when it comes to comfort, the Switch Lite does come out on top. On a side note, the buttons on the Switch Lite are not clicky like the buttons on the Joy-Con, but instead feel and sound softer, kind of like the Switch Pro controller, which I'm a fan of. Unlike the Joy-Cons, the Switch Lite offers a proper D-pad, which is great for movement controls in 2D games. It doesn't feel cheap either, and it's among my favorite aspects of the Switch Lite. A very important thing to remember is that the Switch Lite has nearly identical hardware to the other models. The games run just as well, and if docked mode doesn't sound that appealing to you, you aren't really missing out on anything. The one negative thing I have to point out though is the fact that the Switch Lite only has a 5.5-inch LCD screen, which is the smallest of the three models and a bit underwhelming. I personally didn't encounter any issues with the smaller screen, but if you have difficulties with your eyesight, you should definitely keep the screen size in mind. There is one thing that I noticed. Due to the smaller screen, I end up using the touch functionality more often. Everything is just a lot easier to reach with my thumbs, and I just get much more use out of it than I do on the regular or the OLED Switch even. The Switch Lite generally benefits people with smaller than average hands, which is something you should consider when you intend to buy a Switch model for a child. One of the most appealing aspects of the Switch Lite is of course the comparably cheap price. 200 euros is a very good deal and notably less frightening than the 300 or even 350 euros for the other models. The Switch Lite doesn't feel like an inferior experience either. It is different, sure, but not in a bad way. It's a handheld, not a hybrid console, and it does its job very well. Now, thanks to the cheap price, the Switch Lite is the perfect model for casual gamers. The gamers that don't really want to commit to anything and only play a couple of games a year. I'm thinking Animal Crossing, Pokemon, or 51 Clubhouse games. The Switch Lite is a wonderful entry-level Switch that is not as much of an investment. I also like to point out that the many different variations available for the Switch Lite are very charming. They have a lot of personality and in my opinion make fantastic gifts. Due to the global health situation, a lot of devices are more difficult to get nowadays. Thankfully, the Switch Lite never was a rare commodity and can be picked up essentially everywhere, often with a discount too. A large portion of the games that I play on the Switch Lite are ports from older AAA games, Borderlands, BioShock, Dark Souls or Metro. I could go on here, but the point I'm trying to make is seeing these games that I played on my computer back in, what was it, 2012? Seeing them run on what is essentially a tablet with joysticks never fails to excite me, and I'd encourage anyone to replay some of those games on the Switch. It's a lot of fun. Of course I need to mention the exclusive titles as well. If you do not own a Switch console yet, the Switch Lite is a decent and cheap way into the Nintendo ecosystem and allows you to experience games such as Metroid Dread, Breath of the Wild, or Mario Odyssey, and many other fantastic games. In summary, The Switch Lite thrives when it comes to price, comfort, and portability. If you are regularly on the go, or just play a handful of games, the Switch Lite might be the Switch for you. And if you're looking for a nice gift, maybe for your kids even. The Switch Lite is a remarkable alternative to the other models, and with the saved money you can get additional games, for example. As long as you keep in mind that the Switch Lite doesn't switch, and is in fact a dedicated handheld, I'm sure you'll have a good time with it. But that's it on my part. Thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions or simply want to share your opinion, please leave a comment below, and of course, have a wonderful day.